So when working with logical operators in JavaScript, we have three different logical operators to work with. We have the AND operator, which takes in two values to see if they're both true. And then we have the OR operator, which checks if at least one statement is true. And then we have the NOT operator, which says the opposite of the current outcome. So to demonstrate this, we're going to start off by declaring a new variable. Let's call this one and this one equals to this one takes in two operators now. So we're going to go 1 adding 1 equals 2. So this is going to be true. And then we're going to go and declare the ampersand. We're going to have two ampersand marks. And this is what we call the AND operator. And then we go 2 adding 2 equals 4. And then we can do our alert on our AND declaration. So what we're doing here is this one is going to say this has to be true and this has to be true. So both statements have to be true, otherwise it's going to return false. So let's check this out. So this one is true because 1 adding 1 equals 2 and 2 adding 2 equals 4. But if I'd make this one 3 and reload, it's now going to say false. Because using the AND operator, it requires both. It takes two statements and it requires them both to be true. Otherwise, it's going to return false. Moving on, we have the OR operator. So let's declare a new variable. So const OR. And this time, this works the same way, just that it now only requires one of the statements to be true in order to return true. So if we go 1 equals 1, 1 adding 1 equals 2, and instead of using these, we're going to be adding vertical bars. So double vertical bars. So this means and this means or. And then we go 2 equals 2 adding 2 equals 4. Just like the previous statement. And now we're going to alert, we're going to use our OR variable in our alert. Reloading the browser, this is going to say true. Because this statement is true, the first statement is true, and the second statement is true. But if we make one of these statements false, let's make this 5, and reload, it's still going to say true. And this is because it only requires one of these statements to be true in order to return true. And it doesn't matter which one, as long as one of them are true. So if we make them both false, so let's make 1 adding 1 equals 3 and 2 adding 2 equals 5. So they're both false now. They're incorrect. Reloading the browser, the OR operator is now going to return false because both statements are false. And for our last logical operator, it's going to be the NOT operator. So const NOT. And this one equals 2. So let's make 1 adding 1 equals 2, right? So if I put my NOT operator into the alert here and reload the browser, it's going to return true because 1 adding 1 equals 2. But we can revert this by adding a exclamation mark in the beginning of the statement. So meaning not. So it makes, if this is true and you add an exclamation mark in the beginning, it's going to make it false. And if it's false, so let's say 1 adding 1 equals 3, this is false, right? And if we add the exclamation mark in the beginning, it's going to make it true. So it reverts the answer, so to say. So let's try it out. So 1, so adding the exclamation mark and going 1, adding 1 equals 2, and reloading the browser, it's going to say false. So the statement is true, but the exclamation mark makes it false. But if the statement would be false, so making the equals to 3 instead of 2, and reloading the browser, it's still gonna say false. And that is perhaps because we need to put these like that. So now it's gonna say true. So we need to add parentheses to the mathematical equation and add the exclamation mark before the parentheses. Otherwise, it's gonna go parentheses 1. It's gonna make this calculation first. So this is the correct syntax right here. So 1 adding 1 equals 3, which is false. But adding the exclamation mark in the beginning of it and reloading the browser, it's going to return true. Okay, and this is how we can make our operations more advanced with the logical operators.